Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week number 1. It is 2017, January 3rd. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only, to support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, Jedi traders, it's been a while. Took off a month from our daily recaps. Glad to be back in it. 2017. I have absolutely no idea which direction we're headed in, but let's go ahead and get you a little update here where we're at, what happened today in the market, and keep you in the loop of what to look forward each day. All right, let's go directly to the charts here. As posted here in the trading session recap, any of the pictures posted here in the video may be found on the blog site here at tradingfibs.com. All right, let's take a look at the daily gaps as YM continues to flirt up there with 20K, not exactly getting up there. Again, the future is a little bit behind the index at this point. The NQ and the ES again playing down here after a 50% pullback. 22.29 and about 48.57 here on Friday. Price action moved upside, but really got no traction to push higher after, obviously, you could see the nice drop down on the long hanging tail. Crude, the futures of the day as it bailed here after almost closing out that gap up there at 55.41. So the nearest open gap downside now 51.48, a more likelihood. NQ, our nearest open gap at this point, still downside as we try to get up to that 5K 46.10. Yes, with 100% guarantee we will get those, but we surely will have to break this 61.8. All right, so there are open gaps right now. Nothing new set today, but there it is, the big talk of the day on the crude, has lost almost 300 ticks on that move down. Taking a look at the AD lines, advancers and decliners, we could see price action in the AM session getting a nice lift to the upside, but we were already with that gap up. We are already up towards the outliers. As you can see, NQ flirting up there with that 90.90. That's right, that's the top number I look for each day. And eventually just turned south. Found some a little bit of bounce here at my favorite 45. Came all the way down to 25 and found support there till price action bounced back right up to 70, which is on average the daily high on the AD line. Like what we saw here on the NYSE, back up to 1600. Very rare do we see a pop hold above 1600. All right, so there's your market. Pretty much pop, drop, and pop back up almost to pretty much the daily open. All right, let's take a look at pre-market as what we were looking at. Again, a little combination. No big strategy here when it comes to the MML, the Murray Math lines, but let's run through the core charts here. As we can see, crude for the most part on the session, we talked about that nice move down. Here we have the Globex high, Globex low. The cloud here is the 51.44 off a 1-minute chart, and we have the VWAP thrown in here for good measures. And so nice move upside on the crude this morning as it popped upside here to the Globex high. That was, again, overnight session. A little bit of chop, and finally the short setup to the downside. Nice move with all charts in sync to the downside. Right in, Heikin-Ashi bars to keep you in trend. A little bit of pullback. You got the majority of charts downside. Stay on it, move your stop down, and finally chops towards the end of the session. So overall trend on the crude, very nice move to the downside out of the Globex. Let's take a look at the gold. Again, gold overnight session, a little bit choppy, a little W pattern there. Price action a little rough. Finally got a little bit of traction on the 1030 bell there as price action moved back upside. Solid body tails up above VWAP, above the cloud. Cloud is in the green. And we got T310 is up, T350 is up. You got a 4 out of 4. You got a green light. And you got yourself a nice move to the upside here. Let's go ahead and throw an arrow on there for good measures. There you are. So nice move to the upside on the gold and find support off the 51.44. So gold bounces back up. Nice move. Taking a look at the 6J, it was all to the downside here, holding underneath the 51.44 cloud. That's right. You look down here, you got your 534 horizontal bar. You have your 51.44. That's right, just a replica of the study here. Price action not so great overnight, a little bit choppy. There's your Monday open as it was a holiday, but it was the move here on the overnight session with yen to the downside. Finds a little more traction, but then boom, finds some little support back upside. Most likely better move back up above the VWAP as you had two charts in the green here, and we're back up above the VWAP here on the yen as price action retested the 51.44 and got yourself a little bit moved back up on the yen to finish out the day. Take a look at the euro. Euro again, for the most part, in the overnight session was to the downside, holding underneath the 51.44. T310, a little bit of a pullback, but there it is. There's the U.S. Open around 8:20ish, and there you go. Major market open, regular trading hours, sell signal, sell short set up to the downside underneath. Finally got a 51.44. And then pop back upside here as price action better setup was more likely up here towards half the move. But again, once it broke the cloud, you had a pretty good signal to the upside as T310 and the T350 had already changed slope. All right, let's take a look at the three major indices. As we saw, the NQ and the Globex session was a little bit of a move upside, but very choppy overnight. And then finally, U.S. regular trading hours popped open. I had to sit through a lot of chop here. But here you go. You got price action holding. That's right. You're holding here underneath the 51.44. You're still in between Globex and Midnight Open, not pushing below Midnight Open. But again, you're getting a lot of conflicting signals here on the 534, going blue, going green, or turquoise here for the matter, turquoise to the upside, and then blue, which is red, downside. And so not much traction here as I would have waited for a break on the Midnight Open. Never got that. We got econ data coming out. We got a couple days off, started the new year. Hey, wait it out. And then what do? You get a break upside, 50 above 144. You got at least a course set up with the 534 in sync. That's a 534 EMA, and bang to the upside. If you waited for the Globex high, no problem. Jump in, and you are up and moving up. Now, why up there? Well, we'll take a look at that in a minute, but HA bars, nice tying to the downside, and price action turning around. Indecision bar breaks through the cloud again. The higher probability on my strategy here would have been this portion under here. Again, there was a cause to take an entry here at the highs off the MML charts, but again, I want at least a confirmation. So obviously, if you're taking the entry there, keep the stop at the high. You did really nice to the downside for the most portion of the day. A little bit of chop mid-session there as we worked through the mid-session. Then PM session, again, really didn't get any traction until we had, that's right, we had all three charts in the setup and 20 minutes before the close, and price action takes upside. Taking a look at the YM, very similar picture as we saw the price action run up overnight Globex session, and then finally post 1 hour of the market open. Price action finds itself underneath the 51.44. T310, T350 still changing. Finally gotten the slope to the downside. We see the T310 right here is in the red. That's right. So you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 out of 4 signals to the downside. Good enough for the YM to the downside. Finds the Globex low, chops there, and then bang, PM setup back up to the Midnight Open and VWAP. All right, let's wrap it up with the ES. Take a look at how the ES did. That's right, ES, very similar picture. Again, there was that morning setup to the upside. Why did it stop here? Well, we'll take a look here in a little bit. Multiple the fractal numbers, but good cause to stop and reverse, and price action comes back downside. Underneath the 51.44 is what you had. That's right, you had at least the 534 in sync. You had the changing of the guard here on the T350. T310 was in sync. So you had a 50-50 chance that this was going to work out. Your trade management would have kept you in the trade. Stop at break even. You've been able to manage this on the HA bars all the way down to the lows down here. Price action chopping across, and then eventually found itself back upside. That's right, on what? On two charts in sync. That's the 534. You got the 51.44. That gives you 2 out of the 4. You got the T350 in sync. You got the T310 in sync. That makes that a 4 out of 4 setup to close out the day. All right, so I was talking about these MML charts. You've been seeing me posting them for the last month. What I really like about them especially is the, I like the bigger picture. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll take a look at what we're looking at today. So if we take our long-term charts, let's take a look at the HA bars. Here we go. Here's our longer-term chart. This is the ES at a 100-tick chart. We're looking at a longer time frame here back in September. We can see price action, a lot of consolidation here, pre-election, election. Price action drops in trend. You got yourself a short entry. Why did it stop here? Well, we'll take a look for a moment. Price action pops back up, has been holding above the 51.44. We have a lot of support here. We have the T350. Everything's in trend. We got 4 out of 4 holding upside. So obviously we'll be looking for the support to hold up here. We'll be looking resistance to the upside. But when we throw on the Murray charts, the Murray math level charts that have been modified, all of a sudden we have a nice way of looking at the charts a little bit differently. And there we go. We could see, that's right, that price action that came down here, found support on the bigger time frame here on the oversold, and then found the bounce back upside, and we've been holding up. Throw on a shorter time frame of the Murray math, and you got yourselves some resistance and support levels together with the HA bars to keep you in trend to the upside. So again, when you take a look at the bigger picture and then you throw in an intraday chart, you got yourself even a bigger possibility of trend like we see here on the ES today. There's our Murray math levels on a 15-minute chart. One of my preferences is to watch it on a 15-minute chart. Again, you can use it on a range chart. Worked really nice today on the NQ, but let's just take a look here at the ES. And the ES, that's right, found itself up here this morning. Price action lifts at the early morning session. You can see that here on the range charts that we saw here on the ES. Let's just open up that. Actually, let's just open up the chart here a little bit wider. As we see price action, there it is, overnight session. You got that lift up here and then price action drop. Well, if we take a look here again at the minute charts, 50-minute charts, price action came up to the reversal here. Again, poked up a little bit above, was a nice entry upside, but really didn't hold in the big picture as we see price action eventually found resistance up here at the reversal, headed all the way back down into value area and found support here at the major SR. 50%. Now, what put you back in the move upside off these levels here? Well, you could have taken easily an entry blindly by just simply placing a trade within the value area, placing a stop down here around major pivot, and then go long. Or you wait for the confirmation on the HA bars. You got yourself a 4 out of 4 setup here, once here with about 20 minutes to go in the PM session. Or you took, again, you could have taken the other entry here, which would have the breakout of the 51.44 cloud. But again, you got a 3 out of 4 here. Not a bad setup. You would have probably been stopped out just on trade management alone on the pullback here. But once you got yourself moving on a setup here in the PM session, ES was a nice session close. All right, so each morning what I do is I take a look at the pre-trend, and I'll finish up as to what I've been doing lately with these charts in combination with the HA bars. So let's take a look here at the ES on the bigger time frames. We're taking a look at a daily. Where do we sit? We sit here up at the highs, resistance, as price action holding up here. We're above the 50 and the 200 on the daily. Again, any movement to the downside, I would look for a move down here to at least first the 50, then obviously the top of the range, 200, and eventually major support resistance until perhaps we made a move to the upside. The case for the upside, again, is in sync with the other indices. We might push it up here to about 23.12, but obviously we would have to break above this resistance. Well, what tells me that we might be getting there? Well, the first thing is I'm going to look ahead at the 4-hour chart, and you can see we chopped inside this value here, which is range top 5, range top, bottom 3, major support resistance zone. Price action pretty much found support here, major pivot. What I really like is when these lines sync up together across the charts. I'll show you that here on the NQ. 60-minute chart, again, same numbers we got, 22.53, but not always the same levels. We might have the same numbers, but we're in sync here on the 60-minute. And then the lowest time frame I'll look at is the 15-minute chart that you can see here. What we did is we gapped up. Price action found itself up to the overbought here early session. Pushed, we already looked at that. We saw that on the chart here. The 15-minute chart as price action popped up here. All right, and so you got your HA bars. You're waiting for the move to the downside. Here we go. We had a reject downside. Price action moves down into the zone here, and we find that support. And let's go ahead. No, we're not connecting right now. And price action moves back up. That's right, right back up to resistance overbought area. So nice move back to the upside, and that's where you tie in the HA bars. That's really nice on the 15-minute chart. But again, when I'm looking at the charts, I'm looking at the bigger time frames to see where might we be headed in the days to come. Again, today's performance not indicative of anywhere where we might be going tomorrow. Now, on the NQ, what I like even more is that we find our support right down here around 48.43, tie it in with the 50 EMA. So I got a level up here around 5K. I got a level down here with the 200 in support, putting me down at 87.50. Now, what I'm looking for on any given day that I looked at today was 48.82. That's right, looking at 48.82. Why 48.82? Well, number one is 48.82 at the top of the opening today was the top of the range on the daily. 48.82 was the support on the 4-hour chart, and 48.82 happened to be support on the 60-minute chart as well. Again, the case to the upside was that price action would come up to the major support resistance that we did, and we found ourselves rejecting that area both on a 60-minute chart and a 4-hour chart, plus the overall trend with the 50 below the 144 indicates to me that we still, that's right, we're still in a downtrend on the NQ as price action rejecting here at the 50 EMA. Now, when we go to the 15-minute chart, that's right, 15-minute chart, we also gapped up today. Price action lifted up there, found the reversal over here, came down to the major support and resistance, and when you tie it in with the HA bars, you got yourself not only that nice trend down that we saw today, but we also had the nice trend back to the upside. All right, Jedi traders, if that makes sense to you and you're looking for yourself to get back into the flow of things, and these charts aren't working out for you, the M6E is a great index to trade off of, has some good volume. Again, watch the 6E charts, watch for my posts on the M6E there with the setups. Again, you got the solid setups, you got the trends to the downside, you got them back to the upside. No, I don't want any of those. All right. And so M6E, a great place to start if learning to get out of any simulated platform, want to get live. All right, Jedi traders, that concludes an insight into the daily trend and technical momentum of the indices and key futures markets. Feel free to stop by tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My mantra, one simple strategy, any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at Trading Fibs, and as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only trade what's in front of me and on my charts, and as always, I leave the crystal ball and my buys at the door when trading. All right. Also, make sure you check out here Trading Fibs. Each morning I do the pre-market trend, weekend technical momentum outlook. Again, looking at the bigger picture. Also the recap, and each day a recap with pictures and video as well. For those of you that are interested in joining us in our community of like-minded traders seeking the highest probability setups, feel free to email me, david@tradingfibs.com. You may join us on Thursdays or Fridays to view the live chart setups as they happen in the trading day. Hey guys, have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Happy 2017. And good day, good night, and good trading to you.